Hey, we're here and we're back with Mr. Natan Verkhovsky from Allura Creative Agency. Natan is an energy coach to elite performers, and he's the visionary founder of Allura Creative Agency. He's expertly transformed the lives of over 15,000 individuals with his profound wisdom, innovative approach, and unmatched dedication to helping elite performers thrive. So we're going to find out all about how we can perhaps make our life and our business so much easier by being more focused, by being more strategic, by being aware and tapping into our energy and having better strategy and all these other things that we need to stop doing and start doing. Mr. Natan is here to get us right, set us straight. So, Natan, glad to see you again.
Good to see you, man. Thank you. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you. And so I did my best to introduce you, hype you up, but in your own words, what's your bread and butter? What are you all about? What's your passion?
I'm blessed enough to wear two hats. One of them is as an elite energy coach for the last 30 years, like you said, had about 15,000 people from executives to athletes, Cirque du Soleil, Olympians, national sports teams, really playing with people at peak performance levels. So if you're already at 9 out of 10 personally and professionally, and you're looking for 9.1, 9.2, that's where somebody like me is an elite energy coach. That's where I get to play on that side. On the other side, when COVID started, and I figured, hey, if you've been this guy offline for 3 decades, how hard can this be online? It was horrible. I couldn't get the tech to work. Like MailChimp and Squarespace would randomly disconnect every 6 hours. I'm back in like June 2020, and the marketing always seemed like you're doing last week's marketing. That's why it's not working this week. And it just felt dumb. And I felt like all the education, experience, expertise was useless. And so I felt slow and I felt dumb, and I just didn't want anyone else to feel like that. That's why I opened up Allura Creative as a not for profit. I wanted to make sure that we were there for the people that were trying to help and heal and do some good in the world, not just sell some crap. And that's where, for the last 5 years now, we've focused in on about 500 people, been able to help and big up and express and kind of shine a spotlight on them. So, personally, elite energy coach, tons of cool little ways that we get to play with that. Professionally, Allura Creative, the only not for profit public relations house in the world, as far as I know.
Ooh, cool. Well, I'm already impressed, and I was impressed when we met a few weeks ago, and I was like, how does this guy show up in this way with everyone he meets? We met, and it was like 30 minutes, jam-packed, action-packed. You show me some slides. You kind of presented to me the way that you do things, and many times we think, well, when someone's already got their own baggage, right? They've got the MailChimp and the Squarespace, and they're frustrated, and we say, well, we don't want to just like tell them to do more of that because that's more problems. We don't want to tell them to stop this and take on our thing because that's like kind of interrupting their jam. But if you say, hey, there's this other kind of opportunity and a better way of doing things, and give us a shot, try us out, and you'll be so amazed and excited about what happens that you'll be like, why was I making it so hard on myself this whole time? And so I want to get to that in a minute, like the whole business thing. But I mean, I got to ask, like, how the heck do you energy coach Cirque du Soleil? Do you wake up one day and say, hey, Cirque du Soleil, I want to talk to them? How does that even happen?
Oh, that's a blessing. So my dad, he's been with Cirque du Soleil. He just finished 30 years with them. He finished, and he was director of design performance. So he was their head coach. He'd run around the world and do troubleshooting and problem solving. So if you Google Boris Verkhovsky, you'll see exactly where I'm coming from. And in that capacity, I was blessed enough in my 20s to come in and, as a mental training specialist, work with some of the most incredibly elite people. Like, you win an Olympic gold medal in gymnastics, congratulations. You're now good enough to audition for Cirque du Soleil. So it's different. And if you get in, I need you to empty your cup, because as amazing as you can do a triple twisting, triple backflip, when it's time to do that, I'll let you know. Until then, I need you to learn makeup, stage, presence, dancing, all the other theater. I need you to learn the circus arts. So it's very humbling for those that are coming in. And when I had a chance to work with them, it's in the capacity where you're like, I'm freaking out. And I need to control my energy. I'm wasting emotional energy. And in that capacity, it's the most draining. Because if you're physically in pain, you can always think of something to distract yourself. If you're emotionally in pain, a lot harder.
Right.
So in that context, I play at the intersection between time and energy. Most people know that you can't get more time, but even if you did and there was no energy with it, what are you going to do? What's the point? Like,
Right.
so getting more energy, being in control, having that ability to get in the zone, stay in that state of flow, specifically long enough to get 2 days worth of work done in one.
Ooh,
Because a
that's
lot
what
of
we
people can
want.
get into it. Well, yeah, a lot of people can get into that flow, but staying there long enough, distraction blocking techniques, being able to not get stuck. So when I would I would lay down on the floor underneath a balance beam under an Olympic gymnast, and she would do her entire balance beam routine with me underneath going, hey, and yelling and swearing and trying to distract her on purpose. And she's like, stop it, I'm going to land on you. I'm like, you're not. And in the training of doing that, it gives the ability that somebody goes, when some idiot in the grandstand with his flash, you're not going to lose your Olympics. And the last 4 years of this intensity of work, much less the last 14 years of you getting to this level, just because some guy clicked his thing. So we're going to learn distraction blocking. So in that context, we had so much fun. There's many stories depending on which way you want to go.
And we love stories, and it sure sounds like you have some techniques. And when people, especially men, hear about the energy stuff, there's a lot of stereotypes, resistance, right? I think
Sure.
to myself, like, I don't want to center my chi or like sit and meditate to the god Vishnu or anything like that. It all seems really silly, and I wonder how much it works. And what would you say to that if someone says, "Well, I have all these preconceived notions about energy management. I'm not sure it's for me. It all seems kind of weird and mystical." What do you have to say to that?
You should talk to my beautiful wife of 30 years. She is a subtle energy guide. She deals with tarot, numerology, all the woo woo in the world. On my side, I deal with mental, physical, and emotional drills that I learned from Olympians from different sports teams around the world. These are simple things that go up, down, and neutralize your energy. The only preface is that you need to be elite performer in business, in sports, aware of your body enough to know where you should be at right now. You're about to walk on stage, deliver a talk, you do a pulse check. You're like, oh shit, I'm at a 4 out of 10. I need to be at a 7 out of 10. I give you the mental, physical, and emotional drills to bring you up. Oh no, I'm walking across stage. I'm like, dun, 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 dun. I need to calm down or I'm going to look like I'm, on crazy drugs or something. Do this drug, do this technique and bring yourself down. So it's simple, but if you're at the elite level, you already know the basics and fundamentals. This isn't about learning something new. It's about learning something that's tried, tested across tens of thousands of people at the Olympic level in sports that keep this stuff very, very quiet. So there's a couple dozen of these mental, physical, and emotional drills. And then for 3 decades of being a medical hypnotherapist and putting that all together, the 15,000 people that have come through my hands, I'm able to synthesize and kind of give what you need as you need it. So I meet you where you're at.
Well, very nice. Well, it sounds like so far a lot of it is of having that awareness and having that internal control, right? When you say things like, well, check the pulse, where am I at? Quiet the butterflies and just kind of be more intentional, be better focused. And you have these techniques, and different people are in different places and have different problems. But, and so, everything's kind of unified, personalized. But in the
Mhm.
context of just like a general podcast, do you see any low hanging fruit? Is there, like, when people come to you, is there a common problem that you just see widespread happening a lot that's not addressed enough?
With people online, I see a lot of imposter syndrome. And I find it funny because I look at it like if you're in a hospital and you've got the white, gown on and the stethoscope and the little name tag, and you look down And if that name tag says Robert Plank, this isn't imposter syndrome. You're a doctor. Get over it. This is you. You belong here. Move on. And if you look down and that's not your name, also not imposter syndrome. That's fraud. Take that person's jacket off. You're not a doctor. Get the hell out of the hospital. There is no imposter syndrome. So there's a great deal of anxiety that people put into, where am I going to be and how can I do it? I'll give you a simple example for myself. I'll use me. There's a beautiful global resilience summit coming up. The Lama Tantrapa invited me to come and speak. And he's like, on the days that we have personal resilience, that's full. But national and global resilience, not a lot of speakers. I'm like, I'll take the emptiest one and help you out. He's like, perfect. So I take global resilience, having no damn clue. And he's like, you share the stage with some very cool people. I'm like, tell me. He's like, you share it with Tony Robbins, Wim Hof, the King of Denmark, and the Dalai Lama. And I'm like, oh. So you can imagine imposter syndrome creeping into me. And in that context, I have to look down and go, nope, I'm a freaking doctor. I'm supposed to be in this damn hospital. That's fine. The universe provided. It put me here for a reason. This isn't me fake it till you make it. I find that so ingenuine. This is act as if. And when you feel that right, that, one of my mentors, he always told me that if you want to be good, he goes, you need to give. He goes, but if you want to be great, you need to learn to receive. You're sending out this boomerang into the universe, and it's cosmic, karmic, good, and all the energy that it comes back with. You'll forget about it, and then it'll come, oh, what's this? And it'll surprise you. And in the scope of that surprising, you can either accept or refuse it. And if you accept it, woof. And if you refuse it, okay, you wonder why you keep repeating the same pattern. So I don't play in that, personal, when I look at elite energy coaching, I don't play in that woo-woo. And we don't play in those repetitive patterns that don't serve you. And it's the same on the other side with Allura Creative. When I meet people, 99% of the people are coaches, healers, therapists, specialists, and all of them come with, the last guy I worked with, Natan, he either screwed up or screwed me over or both. So I always start with that -5, arms crossed on your chest. Prove yourself to me in that capacity. Never easy, never like, hey, and I'm 90% by referral. So even in that capacity, it's still people, hurt people. So
Yeah.
people are coming, online's kicking their butt. It's so expensive and you don't know. And you feel stupid like, oh, that's why it didn't work. I didn't do podcasts. Oh, I didn't write a book. Oh, I didn't, have a newsletter. Oh, crap. Where's my Facebook group? Oh, and it sounds like you need to do a million things. And I'm like, yes, you could. But just like offline, there's 46 million ways to make money. Same with online. I'm a not-for-profit. Here we are. In 5 years, we've gifted like $780,000 in scholarships. Kind of need to make it if you want to gift it. So it's different. And if you can do it in a restrictive way, like the way we did it with the not-for-profit and invitation only, you go to the website, you go to the solutions page, you'll see the laundry list of what we do. You'll see the price tag. It's a fraction of any other for-profit agency, but there's no click now, buy now button. We don't have transactional friends. So we really want to handpick the people we work with to make sure that we can guarantee to blow their message like a dog whistle to their target audience. That's the only way
Nice.
we've been very successful so far.
And that's why we're here, and that's why you stand out, and that's why I was so impressed with you. And it seems I'm just digesting what we talked about to then move on to the next block, because it seems like there's a lot. It's natural to beat yourself up, right? And have this imposter syndrome and have the negativity. And what you said in your answer, and what I found helpful is this idea of take the focus off yourself, put it on the people that you're going to help. And that gives you uniqueness, and that saves off the boredom a little bit, right? Because you're kind of always having this mental challenge of like, well, there's this person with their unique situation. I've got these same skills and tools, but I'll kind of like apply it to solving their problem. It's a lot more fun. and then you put out enough of the publicity and the podcasts and the outreach and all these other things, and then what comes back to you, who responds to you, then you say, hey, now we're kind of having this two-part conversation, not just work, try to, slam and make it work. And so the
Yeah.
reason why we're even talking is about 10 years ago, I had a podcast guest, Mr. Richard Lowe Jr., who you know very well. He's such a cool guy. And then
Yes.
because in the last couple of years, I've been trying to having more discipline, right? Having better time management, waking up early, schedule, and then using that to talk to people and like reconnect and deepen relationships and all that. Here's this guy I haven't talked to in 10 years. I felt a little bad. I'm like, hey, have you back on the podcast. And he's no longer the writing king. He's now the ghostwriting guru, thanks to your tweak. And then he said, hey, this guy, Natan from Allura Creative, they handle my marketing. It's great. Now business is fun again, right? I can focus on the relationship building. I can focus on my work,
Yeah.
and all of this figuring out the Canva, the LinkedIn post, the MailChimp, the Squarespace, like they do all that. And so then we met, and you talked about this as kind of not-for-profit model and how you do the special event to kind of get your handful of ideal clients, and then they're impressed and they buy high ticket. I'm like, whoa, this guy has a unique spin on things. So, I mean, tell me about this sort of COVID business that you started because you had to go online. You were frustrated. There had to be a better way. You found a better way. What is it?
It's the ability to go, the tide raises all boats. So if you're going to go the not-for-profit model, and I had somebody in a breakout room, I was networking the other day, and they were like, I really like that. I think it's valid. I can't wait to start it and do it. I'm like, hey, let me just throw a little caveat out there. You still need to keep the lights on and the doors open. So nonprofit, not-for-profit, whatever other, flavor you want to do, there's a mechanism behind it that needs to keep things going. So in my world, my elite energy coaching, that's for profit. That pays and gives me the ability to have a nonprofit like Allura so that I can give back and do things. Like my wife and I, we have 10 friends coming next month for an incredible wellness retreat, and it's complimentary. We give it out to the world. And there's a Lama Tamtrapa's there's TED Talk speakers. There's people that you'd easily pay a couple $100 to go listen to. You don't have to. So that's one of the blessings that we get to do. And knowing that you can do that, it's an interesting digital signature on your business card when you go and meet people, because they know that, oh, okay, you're not trying to sell or pitch me. You're like, there's no need. If anything, let me reverse that. I have a daily podcast called The Frequency of Abundance. We just started season 4. Season 1 was all about personal development. Season 2, communication and relationships. Season 3, business fundamentals online. This is season 4. It's abundance. So the guests that I have that come on, it's not like we're playing now with an interview and tell me about you and stuff. It's much more action items and can you give me a dozen tidbits, nuggets of wisdom, exercises, and key takeaways on this topic. Because in my world, the things that go into the daily podcast, The Frequency of Abundance, that's for free for people to binge watch over on LinkedIn. But it also gets converted with my team into courses on my paid community. That's tens of dollars a month. It's not a big deal. But the ability to have that and to have group accountability, group coaching, group networking, and all that changes you having client lists into you having communities. And that's fundamentally different when people know you online as somebody who's building and curating communities compared to, oh, you're good at what you do. You're successful. You got a bunch of clients. Congrats. Okay.
And how do you sustain a community? Because like you think, well, when you think of like a list of clients, you think like, tens or maybe hundreds, but then a community, you think like thousands, right? If you have a community that's too small, there's not enough people showing up. There's not enough things happening. And we're all starved for the following and the traffic and the attention. And when you say, well, I'm doing this one thing to make money and this one thing not to make money, that sounds like being spread really thin. So is there a secret to all this? Is there a way that you found to make sure to make it all work and make it all function and keep the momentum?
Yes. And it's not spread thin. It's two things. It's literally two things. And the cool part is I don't need to pitch a whole bunch of different things. Ultimately, I need to pitch one thing. I need to pitch that the person coming into my sandbox understands that there's a lot of different ways we could play. And ultimately, they have to pick a way that serves them. So if right now they're energetically low and looking for an elite energy coach, great. There's a retreat, there's personal coaching, there's a wellness symposium, there's daily free frequency of abundance groups. There's so many different ways if that's what you're feeling, if that's what you're looking for. If it serves you better to go, my messaging, my spotlight, my business, my branding, I'm at the level where I've spent so much time and energy. I need visibility. I need credibility. I need to blow a dog whistle to my target audience. I need to hunt whales. I need somebody who can do all of that for me. I don't want to do any of it. Okay. It's whatever serves you. That's why ultimately there's no pitch. It's wherever you are, we'll come meet you. You, like we talked about with the pulse check, you still need to know where you're at and what you want. Nobody's going to tell you that, man. That's weird, right? So you have
Right.
to know, what do you want? Like if your business is going, hey, I'm making 50,000 a month and I want to make 100, great. There's going to be changes. You're okay with those? Wonderful. You're not? We probably shouldn't pull on that thread of that sweater, right?
Sure. Yeah, you have to want to change and want to improve and be open to this new way and the uncomfortableness that goes along with that, of course. And so, as far as what you've done for Richard, I don't know what you're able to reveal in public on a podcast or it's if it's saved specially if someone meets with you, but what's kind of the business plan, so to speak? If someone says, I'm struggling with all the being spread so thin and chasing all the low ticket stuff, and I like the idea of the dog whistle and hunting the whales and doing the online events. Is there an easy way to explain your process?
Sure. If you're able to keep the lights on and the doors open, if you're able to take care of your own bread and butter, we're caviar. We'll sprinkle 2, 3, 4 clients a year, but they'll be worth tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're whales. So if you know what that looks like and you already have those programs in place, we can help funnel that. If you don't and you need us to help you build those programs, to have a repository waiting for those people to come in, we can help you do that. If you're at a place where you're going, I've spent so much time and money on brand and I'm not sure I'm doing it right between my podcast or my book or this. I've got a couple coaching clients, but ultimately I'm not sure. Am I doing this right? You need to ask yourself, who do you serve? How do you serve them? And you need to be congruent on that. So that if you're clear, then we can find your avatar. We can find who the heck they are, where they hang out. We can reverse engineer what that message looks like. Blowing a dog whistle after we do that exercise on a strategy session, that's not hard. That's much more natural, logical. It's very organic. It's when we're looking at the other two parts. Me as an energy coach for 30 years, putting that hat on, when I ask the questions, do you like how you make your money? Do you like how you spend your time? Those require you to be a heck of a lot more transparent with yourself. Because I've had people that have been like, hey, can you help me get these group stages and coaching things? I'm like, sure. And then in 10 minutes, I'm talking to them like, Bill, I noticed you're an introvert. So that's got to cause you a lot of anxiety being on these group stages and stuff. He's like, oh man, you wouldn't believe it. I need like 3 hours to decompress afterwards. I'm like, so then why am I going to perpetrate that? Why am I going to give you more of what doesn't serve you? We ultimately need to satisfy. I need to like how I make my money. I need to like how I spend my time. Then, in order to find my clients, I need to find who do I serve and how do I serve them. And in that process, that secret sauce unveils what we need to do. From there, we blow a dog whistle to them simply by creating an incredible event that they would be delighted to come to, and stroking their ego by inviting them to an exclusive invitation only with a handful of other people that are coming. And we want to hear what you have to say. It's not a workshop. It's not a webinar. We're not selling, telling, preaching. There's none of that. It's a symposium, like the Greek meaning of the word, a gathering of intelligentsia to share ideas, maybe a little bit of wine. That's what we're here for. And so everyone feels heard. And because of that, everyone's interested now to listen. But there's nothing to listen to. That's why they book a one-on-one.
Well, you have a lot of interesting
There's your
things figured
secret
out here.
sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, so it seems like the secret sauce, at least in my mind, there's these 4 quadrants, right? You say that like the kind of surface level questions are who do you want to help and how do you want to help them? That's kind of the offer based, and then the deeper questions, the kind of introspective about ourselves, is do you like how you make your money and do you like how you spend your time? And I imagine that this might have just come across people by accident, right? They might have drifted into their current
Sure.
lifestyle, current business model, and maybe they don't even know how they ended up there. Maybe they're not happy, and maybe there's a better way to be more
They've always done
intentional
it for
and
20
be
years and
more
they
in the
don't know
driver's
that
seat.
they don't like this or it doesn't serve them.
Yeah. So they need your help to get there. And so, I mean, we could talk about this for hours on end, but in the spirit of podcast and giving people a taste or a tease, if someone says, this guy Natan, he could help me figure this out, but I'm not sure if I'm a right fit or if I just have that imposter syndrome or if this is something that makes sense for me, how can someone get in touch with you? What's the next step?
Reach out. You have my contact link. It's the easiest thing. It's Allura Creative Agency / Let's Chat. So in that, we'll be able to take a look. And like we said, I don't know if it'll make more sense to play together on the personal side and look at energy coaching or getting involved with any of our retreats or things, or speaking at any of our retreats, or speaking as a guest on our podcast. I don't know if it'll make more sense to look on the other side first. Ultimately, it's whatever's low-hanging fruit. So if on the
Okay.
other side, to take a look at your business and to get a giant spotlight shined on that, and that makes sense, great. And then I'm blessed enough to have people that play with both and go, why do I have to choose? I personally want energy coaching. Awesome. And I want to speak at this and I want to hear this and I want to come to this event. All right. And at the same time, my business needs help and I want to push, push, push. Okay. So that's why it's invitation only. We're blessed enough to handpick because I really want to make sure that it's for the right people doing the right stuff so that we can serve them in the right way.
Very nice. You figured a lot of stuff out, Mr. Natan, and I love how you've taken the skills that you've acquired and you can apply them in different ways, right? Apply them to the Olympic athletes, but also apply them to those business owners. So we said that link is Allura Creative Agency / Let's Chat. They're a not-for-profit public relations agency, and their goal is to help you expand your online business and reach a wider audience globally so that your message can impact even more lives. They help you reduce friction, eliminate those bottlenecks, introduce you to your ideal target client, showcases you, your achievement, and shines the spotlight through custom created events. That link we dropped there was Allura Creative Agency / Let's Chat. So many amazing ideas from you, Mr. Natan, but in the spirit of, we use that word spirit again because you keep drinking the wine. It's stuck in my head. It's incepting me. But we want to end with a bang instead of a whimper. And that means it's near the end of the show, and it's the scary part of the show where I try to stump you, I try to put you on the spot, and I ask for a fun or interesting quote or lesson that has served you in life or in business. So what comes to mind as far as a fun quote or lesson for us?
I'm not good at math, so I'll use words instead, but I'll give you an equation. I'll use one word = another word. Gratitude equals abundance.
Okay, just that simple.
So it really is. If you want to feel more abundant, you literally wake up and count your blessings. Gratitude is the only way to feel that abundance. And the more gratitude you feel in the moment, the more abundance the universe realizes you can handle. And because of that, it provides more for you. So the process of manifestation is much more in that I'm in the moment experiencing what I've got, what I want right now. Perfect. And the universe goes, oh, okay, well, I guess this guy can handle it. So let me provide for you what you have.
That's a great lesson. And what's built into that is that it's not a one-time event, right? It's recurring. You said wake up and practice gratitude, not, oh, I practiced gratitude 3 years ago. Like if you keep wanting it to come in, you have to keep
Correct.
showing up and doing it. And that means being positive and having your energy figured out and your reason why and everything else that goes along with that. And that's why you should talk to Mr. Natan and his team at Allura Creative Agency /let's chat. What a wonderful way to cap out the week with you, Mr. Natan, and
Thank
have
you.
this fun, inspiring conversation. You made me think a lot, and I'm glad to have you on and to know you. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate it. And hopefully, if it helps anybody out there, as a not for profit, we're not here for the almighty buck. So if you're doing some good, if you're trying to help in any capacity, way, shape, or form, reach out. We'd love to help. We'd love to put you into our community, bring you into our little sandbox. I've got about 17,000 eyes on me. So anyone I could introduce you to, anyone that could help, I believe the tide raises all boats. So we'd love to be a part of that for you.